I had no idea Tamron. I kept asking everyone, "Is Tamron here? Is Tamron here?" I had no idea she was going to introduce me. I jotted down a few things, but I don't even know if I'm going to get to them. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here. Anyone who has any connection to Safe Horizon, can you please stand? Because do you know, please stand for me. Do you know how important your work is? You guys can do better than that. Hey, Manny. I'm here to honor you, and I'm here because of you. I want to share my story. I grew up in the South, this little black kid with big teeth and big ears. I grew into my looks, right? It's good now. But I was a little naive kid, and I became a victim of childhood sexual abuse from my mother's best friend, her son, my mother's best friend's son, who lived next door to me. So it would happen continually. And I was afraid to tell anybody because I thought it was my fault. It was years later that I realized that many victims feel it's their fault, that they had done something wrong. And in fact, my perpetrator would say to me, if you tell, I'm going to say it's your fault and that you wanted to do this, which it wasn't. I was too young to even realize anything. My innocence was stolen from me at the age of 6 years old. As a survivor, and I hate that word victim because we're all survivors. As a survivor, if I would have had this as a child, it would have helped me. I don't know if it would have helped the abuse stop because Safe Horizons wasn't there in that part of the process, but I think afterwards it would have helped me with the trauma that surrounds, the trauma that goes with sex abuse and being the victim at such a young age. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know who to tell. I never told anyone, okay, guys, until I was in my 30s, and it slipped out on television. I was interviewing members of a congregation. Their pastor had been accused of using his influence to victimize young men in his church. And every single one of those young people I spoke to said, well, the pastor's not an abuser. He's not a pedophile. I know him. He's not that way. And I sat there and I looked at them and I said, you guys don't know that. People aren't always what they present themselves to be in public. We know that. Molesters don't walk around with an M on their forehead, or abusers don't walk around with an A on their forehead. You just don't know. And in that moment, I said, I know because I am a survivor. And they gasped. And I looked at them and said, why are you gasping? And in that moment, I realized, oh my gosh, I just admitted my biggest secret on international television. I thought I was over. I thought no one would watch me, no one would support me. Why would you say that on television? And little did I know, my phone didn't stop ringing for 3 days. The messages came in from people all over, people who were close to me who I had no idea, who said the same thing happened to me when I was a kid, and I was afraid to tell. And you gave me hope, and now I can tell, and now you're helping me to deal with the process. I had no idea that I would have that impact. If the hotline, I call it a lifeline, that Safe Horizon offers was there for me, I would have been able to tell people. I would have been able to call someone anonymously and not worry about my parents or people judging me. But I didn't have that. So I am grateful to Safe Horizon for that and all the people who stood up. I am grateful and I'm so happy and encouraged that you are reaching out to boys and young men of color. Because those are the really unheard voices at this moment in this movement of empowerment for victims. And are quite often, as Tamron so eloquently pointed out, are more prone to being victims of abuse. I'm so happy for you for doing that. I am grateful that you used this platform and this organization to help people have a voice and to help people have their day in court by working to change the law when it comes to the statute of limitations. You deserve a big round of applause for that. Thank you so much for doing that. I just want to tell you, listen, what happened to me happened so long ago. I'm in my 50s now, but it happened when I was a little boy. I didn't have my day in court. But what I do have is a voice now and a platform and confidence enough to be able to be a voice for victims and to use my platform to help others so that what happened to me doesn't happen to them. So thank you so much for that. At this moment, that gives me comfort that I can do that. And I am so grateful to be in a world and now part of an organization like Safe Horizon. So thank you so much for this, and I will continue to speak for you. Thank you.